I'd like to say how thrilled I am to be playing here. You know, obviously it's the first time in my career, and I would have come at any time that I was invited. So thank goodness it happened at last. Touring's my favourite thing to do. Singing is the forum that I like to work in the best, and so I'm really delighted to have the chance to sing for you. So thank you for inviting me.
Israel is always in the news. Did you have any fears about coming to perform here in Israel?
No, not at all. You know, I admit to being, quite a provincial person, and the fact that I'm invited to sing anywhere, as long as my rights as a woman are permitted, then I'm happy to go.
What can we expect in your performance tomorrow evening? The repertoire, the songs you're going to perform.
It's an eclectic mix. You know, obviously it covers the 30 years, so I go right back to Yazoo to the current day. It mixes dance with chanson, with pop music, with folk. It's very mixed up. Although I would say the band that I work with is quite an organic band, and so everything has to be morphed into sitting together, so it's not some kind of nasty backing track karaoke, you know. My son, his best friend from school is an Israeli who lives in Tel Aviv, so my son's come to join me, and his friend's going to show us around, so it's kind of going to be down to him where I end up. You know, my achievements have always outweighed my ambitions, and I was brought up to be quite outspoken and not frightened of emotion. So I don't particularly see wars as being wars. You know.
When can we expect your next album? Your 8th album?
Well, I'm hoping to start working on that. When I go back to England, I'm touring with Jules Holland for a while. I like the idea that the problem with my job, the one thing I don't like about it, is how cyclical it is. You're either touring or you're recording, or you're writing, and that goes back to the beginning again. And you stop singing for long periods of time. What I like about guesting on someone else's tour is the fact that I'll be singing the whole time that I'll be writing. So the next project that I'm going to be working on, I think, is going to revisit electronica.
Which is the song you most like performing with all your repertoire?
That's a difficult thing to say. What I can say is I least enjoy performing hits. And I think, the fact that I'm one of those rare breed of women who really likes being middle-aged, I found my 20s quite torturous, and I prefer the music of people who have lived and have got, I like lyrics that reflect life, and, when I think about some of the early songs that I wrote, that was all about imagination, I was writing about a broken heart before I'd ever had one, But then when I was a kid, I loved the idea of, the French lieutenant's woman of being able to sob much before I ever wanted to hold hands. I couldn't wait to sob. I will give this concert everything that I have, and I'm so excited about it. And so just to please come, really. About the 80s, well, I have a chip on my shoulder about being called an 80s act because, I started singing in the 60s, for example, And, I find that particularly limiting because other than the Yazoo work, which I really enjoyed doing, it was quite groundbreaking, I don't consider it to be my best creative period, and, I appreciate that you're known for the time where you made the most money, but that's not always the time that you make the best art. And so the 80s is all well and good, I'm slightly bemused by it, and I'm happy to profit from it, but I don't see it as my defining glory moment.
Okay, everybody. Thank you again for coming in.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.